Wait, what? What? That's not true. What do you mean it's a flat earth? There's no such thing. Everyone knows that the world is a globe. And evolution, that's true too.
Hello and welcome. Genesis chapter 10. So, before we get started, quickly have a recap of Genesis so far. So, we have met Adam, who with Eve were kicked out of heaven after Eve was tricked by a talking serpent. God wasn't happy, and after a few generations, Noah came along. However, God wasn't happy with all the evil, so he decided to speak to Noah and got him to build an ark. He had to build this massive boat, create every type of animal, put them all on a boat, then the most spectacular flood ever would happen. So high, every mountain would be at least 15 cubit under water. Highest peak would be under 22.5 feet of water. Let's think about this. Water, it gets heavy, very heavy. For example, if you or myself were to exit a boat on the surface of the ocean, we should be okay as long as we can swim or float. If we were to go down the gravitational pull of the water would feel heavy. If we were to exit a submarine at the bottom of the ocean, we would be crushed due to the pressure of the water. This flood never happened. Geological studies prove it. Anyway, that's enough of the scientists. Let's get on with it anyway. Chapter 10. Before we start, apologies now for my pronunciation. It's going to be tested here. So let's begin then. These are the descendants of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Children were born to them after the flood. People are born all around the world every day, so I would reckon these sons would have offspring anyway. But let's continue. The descendants of Japheth: Gomer, Magog, Maudi, Javan, Tuba, Mesich, and Tiras. The descendants of Gomer are Ashkenazar, Rapha, and Togarmah. The descendants of Javan are Elisha, Taresha, Kitzmi, and Wodima. From these, the coastland people spread. These are the descendants of Japheth in the land with their own language, by their families, in their nations. Indeed, different nations have different languages and even beliefs, but the Bible is not like to mention those, really, is it? But there you go. The descendants of Ham: Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. The descendants of Cush: Seba, Havilah, Savath, Ramah, and Septeka. The descendants of Ramah: Seba, and Daman. Cush became the father of the Nimrod. He was the first on earth to become a mighty warrior. How could he be a mighty warrior if there was only one? Those he fighting to become mighty. Sorry, who's he fighting to become mighty? He was the mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore, it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. Hunters aren't warriors. So, not sure why he's called a warrior. The beginning of the kingdom of Babel, Erich, and Akkad, all of them in the land of Shinar. Again, do apologise for the pronunciation. Shinar is spoken in Pakistan, so I guess this was the kingdom. Yeah. From the land he went to Assyria and built Nemeth, Rehoboth, Kala, and Assyria is located in the northern part of Mesopotamia, which corresponds to most parts of modern-day Iraq, as well as parts of Iran, Kuwait, Syria, and Turkey. Quite a large area then. So Nemeth was the capital of the powerful ancient Eurasian Empire located in modern-day northern Iraq. Sennacherib was the king of Israel from 704 to 681 BC and was famous for his building projects. Rehoboth is the name of the three biblical places: a well in Gerar dug by Isaac in Genesis 26:22. We're coming to that bit. supposed to be a Wadi Rubab, about 20 miles south of Beersheba. Ida gave it the Rubok, which means open space, because I guess it's a well, and it would be. Kala also spells Kalu or Kala, modern day Nimrud, ancient Eurasian city situated south of Mosul in northern Iraq. Mosul is also famous for being the birthplace of the former Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein, who the Americans found in a hole before he was shot, or tried and hung, doesn't matter. Reslin began Nemeth and Kala. That is a great city. Redin is stated, according to Genesis 10:12, to have been located between Nemeth and Kala and become a great city. Its exact location is today unclear. According to Genesis, it is within the vicinity of the ancient Ariza, which would place it in Iraq, but the exact location is not known. Egypt became the father of Ludim, Adameth, Lembeth, and Nephephorim. Not a clue. Not a clue what those words were. More unpronounceable names. Thanks again, the Bible. Periphiums, Calicium, and Caphaforum, which form the Palestine. It's from where the Palestines come from. This must be helpful back in the day. For me, it's similar to the 5th chapter of Genesis. It's just a random load of names. Hard of these ones though. Canaan became the father of Sidon, his firstborn, and Health. Canaan, who was the son of Ham, who Noah made a slave. And the Jebusine, the Amoroti, and the Garashites, the Hibis, the Archelites, and the Shinites, the Abadites, the Zemarites, and the Hapsites. Afterwards, the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. All of these are the descendants of a slave. Let's see if he comes back to bite them later in the Bible. I'm sure these may be slaughtered later. Of this, I'm not sure, but we will have to read on to see, won't we? Doesn't happen in this chapter, though. I know that. And the territory of the Canaanites extended from Sidon to the direction of Gera, as far as Gaza, and in the direction of Sodom. Gomoth, Abath, and Zodomi as far as Lasha. Sidon, known locally as Saida or Sayad, is the third largest city in Lebanon. It is located in the South Governorate, which is the capital of the Mediterranean coast. Tyre to the south and Lebanese capital Beirut to the north are both about 25 miles away. Gerard, lodging place, was the Palestine's town and distinct for what is today South Central Israel, mentioned in the book of Genesis and in the second book, Chronicles of the Hebrew Bible. The city was on the border of Israel and Egypt, in the southwest part of Israel near the Mediterranean Sea. Gaza is one of the oldest cities in history. The name Gaza means strong, which is a fitting name considered the city's strongholds and fortifications for protection. Lasha, meaning Fisheru, is a place apparently east of the Dead Sea, Genesis 19. It was later known as Carrefour and place famous for its hot springs. These are the descendants of Ham, by their families, their languages, their lands, and their nations. So far then, Ham's descendants have gone towards Egypt, Israel, and Lebanon, was Cush, who was never mentioned until this chapter, went towards Pakistan. So let's see where else we're going to go then. So to Shem, also the father of all the children of Eber and the older brother of Japheth, children were born. This is no real surprise, as it was on the ark, so he could reproduce. So, who knew? The descendants of Shem, Asham, Asher, Paresh, Lud, and Aram. More hard to pronounce names. Great. Thanks again for that, the Bible. And you people who wrote the Bible. The descendants of Aram, Uz, Hut, Gever, and Mash. Mash, a name I can pronounce. Mash is in of the potato. What sort of name is that? Bit of a joke there. Sorry. Aparesh became the father of Shalan, and Shalha became the father of Eber. Oh, good for them. Well done, you. To Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, and in the days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. What's meant by divided? I guess they split the earth up a bit. Joktan became the father of Almodad, Shalef, Hazamath, Jerah, Hadaram, Uzal, Dikla, Uba, Abel, Sheba, Oref, Havilith, and Jacob. All of these were descendants of Joktan. Okay, we need to know this. Why? Will they be destroyed by gods later? Who knows? The territory in which they lived extended from Mesha to the direction of Selfa, the hill country of the east. The previous few verses listed 13 sons of Joktan, the son of Eber. The names of several of these sons become well known as specific regions or people, groups in the Middle East. So I guess that's why we got to hear their names then. This verse describes the geographical territories occupied by the various groups or people descended from Joktan. Scholars are uncertain of exactly what modern day areas these names represent. However, the information given in the broader passage indicates that Joktan was the father of the Arabic people. This portion of scripture is devoted to explaining how Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons, became the ancestors of all the world's nations. Good for them. Some of the names listed will become associated with the famous and infamous cities or religions of the Bible. An explanation of how they found themselves living in different locations and speaking different languages will come in chapter 11. Those details are part of the story of the Tower of Babel. Something to look forward to. You see, I'll give you a spoiler there. These are the descendants of Shem, by their families, their languages, and the lands, and their nations. God, I thought it nearly finished, but clearly not. So, according to the Bible, Noah's sons, descendants, populated the earth. Once again, why are the people of the earth all different colours? If you have dark skin and dark coloured eyes, in hot countries, this helps you with protecting yourself from the sun, whereas lighter skins will be more suited to the cold, I guess. This happens due to evolution. Yes, evolution is real, and it's happened. Who knew? These are the families of Noah's sons, according to their genealogies in their nations. And from these, the nations spread abroad on the earth after the flood. Sure they did. And their skins magically changed colour too. Yeah. Anyway, this is how allegedly every nation started. Even though here in the UK there's evidence of humans being around long before the Bible, or Aboriginal Australians going back around 50,000 years. But, this is just scientists saying so it's clearly not true. But they weren't to know about, so don't exist along with the Americans. If you weren't or aren't on the map, you can't be there, surely. Australia. It's just there for convicts and poisonous snakes and spiders, kangaroos and koalas anyway. It's also where all good, my buddy Bill, lives from when I used to play WWE Supercard from Off of the Past. But there you go. That was always fun with him, screaming and shouting at everyone. Anyway, there you go. We are all descendants of them because, of course, we are. Other than a dusty old book, where's the evidence? Evolution through natural selection can and is observed, and it has been proven. This book is evidence of great literature, not science. Let's not forget that. Anyway, chapter 11, next, where the languages of the earth are created so they don't understand each other. Well, now, they all learn English, allegedly, so not sure what Northern Scotland uses, to be fair. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I have been your man in the shed, Andy P. We're out of here. It's good to see ya. Peace, love, and all that good shit. See you, pals.